The Global Psychosis Network presents The Trashy Show, where everything is a conspiracy, even you are a conspiracy.
Everything is a conspiracy.
Everything is a conspiracy.
Everything is a conspiracy.
It's the Trashy Show,
Is a conspiracy.
where everything is a conspiracy, even you
Everything
are a conspiracy.
Everything.
I am your host,
Conspiracy.
Jimbo Trashy. This is episode 45, and here we are, together again, on the internet. Happy New Year, by the way. I know we're almost through the month of January, but here in the Global Psychosis Network ecosystem, today is day one, because this is the first podcast that I've done since last year. So I hope you had happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and all that other happy horse shit. Anyways, I want to start off the podcast by just saying how hard it is to sleep as you get older. I don't know what it is, but I've had problems with snoring. So I got the mouth tape. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that before. Put the mouth tape over it. That resolved that issue. Sleep a lot better. I had a weighted blanket for a long time. That helped for a little while, and then it just didn't seem to work anymore. And then, traditionally I've always been a stomach sleeper. I can't sleep on my back. I'll wake myself up every 5 seconds. I'm like one of those dolls, like that open their eyes when you lift it up, That's exactly what happens when I go to my back. The only way I can fall asleep on my back is if I'm shit-faced drunk and I just fall asleep where I was at. Otherwise, I ain't sleeping on my back. I've tried my side, and the side's not bad, but then at some point I just roll to my stomach without even realizing it. And I was fine for years, decades, never had an issue. And then come to find out from all these researchers and people that are experts on sleep, I guess, sleeping on your stomach is the worst way to sleep. It's bad for your spine. It can cause neck problems or rotator cuff issues. And that's what I'm experiencing now as I've gotten older, is rotator cuff issues from putting my arm under the pillow and keeping my arms extended above my head all night. So I even got this pillow for your neck. It's supposed to be for stomach sleepers, but it didn't seem to work. It actually seems better for someone that would sleep on their back, ironically. So I really don't understand what you're supposed to do if you sleep on your stomach besides just don't sleep on your stomach. I might have to hire some people to just monitor while I sleep, and then anytime I roll over my stomach, they just roll me back to my side or some shit, because I don't know, dude. Sleeping is a fucking pain in the ass. It's become a full fucking process to just get a good night's sleep without waking up with some sort of ache or pain over the dumbest shit. Oh, you slept in this position, so now you have to hurt for the first fucking couple hours in the morning. You gotta stretch. That's became part of my routine now. Is just you should always stretch regardless, but now I have to stretch. It's not an option. So when I get up in the morning, I'm doing the neck rolls. I'm bending over, fucking touching my toes, and doing all that fucking stuff that you gotta do to just feel normal. And it's fucking annoying, dude. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like having to worry or think about stuff that I never previously had to ever think about. But I guess that's the grace of getting older, right? So, with a new year comes new drama. And what's the new drama? Renee Good, Minnesota. Everything's falling apart over there in Minnesota over this dumb bitch who blocked traffic and impeded ICE agents or officers, whatever you want to call them, from doing their job. So now it's a big deal because she got shot in the face like you typically typically would if you try to escape by driving towards a police officer or an ICE agent that has a gun pointed at you. I thought we evolved as a species, as humans, to understand that if someone's pointing a gun at you, you don't advance towards them without expecting them to pull the trigger. But apparently in 2026, we're still in debate or confused about what could potentially happen. So I don't understand really what the gripe is here. Like, people that voted for Trump, even people that voted for Trump are like upset about this. Not all of them, but some of them. They're saying that, they're going too far. They're being too forceful. What did you think was going to happen when they wanted to deport millions of people? Illegal immigrants. People that have crimes against them, whether it's rape or murder or robbery or whatever their deal is. If they have no crimes as far as violence goes, they're still considered illegal, which is considered a crime. And one of the things that annoys me about this issue is people say, like, when these people get detained or they get arrested, they get like snatched off the street, they say, what about due process? Like, they didn't even ask for like this and that, and like that person's actually a U.S. citizen. What people don't seem to realize is back in 2012, when Obama was president, actually I think it was 2011 when he did this, but I don't think it went into effect, excuse me, until 2012, he revised the NDAA Act, or the NDAA. And basically what it means, or what happened when he did that, is it declared U.S. soil as a battlefield. Now, what does that mean? U.S. soil is a battlefield? Why are we a battlefield? I don't know why we're considered a battlefield or why he decided to do that at the time. I can only hypothesize that maybe he saw what his actions as president were going to lead to. Division, chaos, turmoil. So you put this thing in there to basically make it so if you're a foreign invader or considered a domestic terrorist, which could be at the whim of what the U.S. government decides. Maybe you talk bad about the Jews on the internet. Maybe you're looking up how to create a bomb. Whatever it may be. From the most extreme example to the most like half-ass, just curious, I just wanted to Google like, why do people hate Jews or something. Whatever reason they want, basically. If they deem you a domestic terrorist based on those actions, they can deny you due process, they can deny you habeas corpus, and they can just arrest you and detain you. There's no warrant needed. People don't seem to understand this. They think it's Trump that is causing this or started this. This goes way back. And basically what happens is you have a president in power. They always do what they want to do. They pass things without your approval, without your even ability to know, unless you research it. And then the next president takes those powers and adds to them. Who knows what Trump's passing that we'll see in the next presidency. So everything that ICE is doing is 100% legal based on what they've been given as powers. And some people don't want to accept that, or maybe they don't like that, but that's just the fact of reality. Given that, I do think ICE should be able to deport these people that are here illegally without obstruction from U.S. citizens. You have the right to protest and disagree, and that's the beginning of how you change laws. But obstructing justice as it's being served based on the laws that we have had written and approved, you're just digging yourself a hole deeper for them to label you as a domestic terrorist or agitator or whatever label the media gives you. So no, I don't feel sorry for this fucking progressive lesbo nut job who thought she was going to be a fucking hero and stop the process of deportation. And Minnesota, I mean, people are like acting like, these are just peaceful protesters. They're not peaceful protesters. Maybe some are. Maybe a lot of them are. But what happens when you have that many people in a small confined area is chaos. Violence. It's inevitable. You can even take it down to the micro level of like a bar. I worked as a bouncer at a bar for a couple years, and when it was like 5, 10, 20 people, it was fine. You might have someone gets a little rowdy, but it was typically never a big deal. But you get 100 people, 200 people, because it's July 4th, or whatever holiday, and everyone wants to go out and get drunk and cause a ruckus. There's always going to be conflicting personalities. There's always going to be that one dude who's a hothead, who doesn't like the way you looked at him, and it's going to spiral into a fucking mass event of fucking violence. Every time. If that wasn't the case, bouncers wouldn't even be a position to hire for. So I think we need to come to an understanding that protesting doesn't work when you get violent. It just works against you. This police state that they're worried about is being self-perpetuated by their actions. It's the same concept of like when you get arrested or when you get pulled over or even arrested too, unlawfully. Let's say you did nothing wrong. The cop pulls you over because you're black or brown or you have a fucking you're white and you have a shaved head, they think you're a skinhead, whatever their deal is, and they profile you and pull you over, and they arrest you on some bullshit charges. The go-to answer is not to resist or fight them or fucking argue with them. Just do what they say and fight them in court, and that's how you win. Once they get sued, once they lose money, that's when they stop, because it's all about money. The whole reason why they pull you over and give you a ticket for a fucking bullshit seatbelt, or because you didn't move your car during street sweeping, even though there's some bum sleeping 10 feet away from your car on the sidewalk, it's all about money. That's all they care about. So you hit them in the wallet, and that's when they change. This screeching and yelling and repeating the same shit over and over again. Oh, streets! Oh, streets! That doesn't do nothing, dude. All it does is lead to them getting more pissed, getting more violent, and attacking an officer at some point. And then how do they respond? They respond by increasing police force, by being more tyrant. And then guess what? Now you're bitching because some baby got sprayed in the face with pepper spray, or whatever the issue is. By the way, why are you bringing your baby to a protest? Can you leave him at the daycare? Can you get a babysitter? Sometimes I think these people use their kids as like cannon fodder because they're hoping they're going to win the lotto and get a fucking winning ticket by having their kid get killed or something else happen to them. It's absolutely ridiculous. And if you go on the internet, you can find countless videos of people in Minnesota, just normal people, getting their ass beat because they quote-unquote look like ICE agents. So basically, if you're any sort of white male, or even just a male who doesn't look like a complete soy boy cuck, you're suspect in Minnesota right now. I saw a video of this Hispanic, maybe Middle Eastern guy wearing he's wearing an American flag t-shirt or jacket or something. Maybe it was a sweater. And there's all these white people, progressive white people, telling this guy, get out of Minnesota, you don't belong here. Take that sweater off, take that jacket off. And he's completely terrified because he's surrounded by a swarm of people, and he's like taking it off while they're like throwing shit at him and spilling water on him or whatever fluid it may be and pushing him around. And he takes this thing off and he's like, okay, are we good now? And like he's he doesn't even know if he belongs in America now because American citizens are attacking this dude for wearing an American flag or wearing clothing that has an American flag on it. It's interesting how the people that claim to be so for America are the ones that are vehemently against it. I don't understand it. I don't think I'll ever understand it. But something needs to be done. I think at this point, all you can really do is have Trump execute the insurrection. God damn it, I can't talk today. The only thing Trump can do, I can see at this point, is execute the Insurrection Act. And that's when you have the military go in, and I know that's going to even ruffle more feathers. But these cops and these ICE agents are overwhelmed. And I don't know how else you rectify it. Anyways, moving on from that topic, because I'm kind of over it. I'm sick of hearing about it. Every day, they're trying to make Renee Good like the new, or the white people's George Floyd. And I think the only reason why that city isn't burning down right now is because it's the middle of winter. So good luck trying to start a fire when it's fucking snowing. But, yeah, this shit's so stupid. What happened to people having jobs? Does anyone go to work anymore? I go to work, and then I come home, and there's like the cars that were still there when I left for work are still there when I come back. Does anyone go anywhere anymore? Does anyone have a job? My neighbor has like 5 or 6 kids. I don't even think they go to school. Every time I see them, they're just like riding bikes and just hanging out. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Do you even go to homeschool at least? Or do you have a homeschool thing that you do at least? Like, I don't know what's going on with this fucking state, but... or just society in general, but it's ridiculous. Switching topics, I saw The Smashing Machine. Finally. I don't know when it came out, but I'm assuming that... I've been hearing about it for months, and how good The Rock portrayed Mark Kerr. And I just kept hearing about it, like, whatever, dude. I don't even really remember Mark Kerr. I watched UFC, you know, since the inception of it, and I really don't remember him that well. I guess he was more of a pride guy. And it was one of those days where I couldn't get anything done because I was just overwhelmed with family duties. So I was like, you know, I'm going to watch a movie today because I can't get any, like, creative shit done. So I watched the movie, and I gotta say, The Rock did a good job. I mean, hopefully for his career, this will change the, I don't know, the stereotype that he's just a Disney action guy. There's a scene where he shoots up. That was pretty funny. But I'm sure that came, you know, that was probably something that was not too hard to replicate since he probably did steroids during his wrestling career. But, it was a good film. The wife, they did a good job of portraying the wife as a fucking annoying bitch. I think a lot of chicks could have done that role, but I think Emily Blunt was the one that did that role, and yeah, basically she was, I don't know, her character was kind of, they didn't really specify what her reasoning was. I don't know if she was mentally unstable. I mean, I guess you could argue that because she, like, teased to kill herself. They had an argument in one scene, and she puts a gun to her head. But I don't know if she was really suicidal or if she was just, like, fucking with him. So I don't know if she was mental illness or mental instability, or if she was just jealous of his fame and success that he was doing or gaining when he was doing well. He had a substance problem because of the pain he was in from fighting. And he cleaned himself up. I mean, I thought the whole film was gonna be him just being on drugs and trying to get off it, but they kind of wrapped that plot pretty quick up in the story. So it wasn't so much the drug use. That's what kind of was the catalyst for her to start bitching at him, though. And then he cleans himself up, and then as soon as he gets clean, the first thing she does is go to like a party and get shit-faced. Like her girlfriend had a birthday party, and she gets trashed. And then he's like trying to tell her, like, look, I'm trying to stay sober. I don't want to be around like alcohol and things that are gonna like tempt me. And then she gets like in his face, like, you're just upset because I can have fun and you can't. So, I mean, it was annoying to like hear that shit because it's reminded me of like all my ex-girlfriends like nagging me when I was fucking dating. But, you know, I guess that was like the major issue for that guy. Besides his drug issue, and he was trying to like stay relevant in mixed martial arts. Overall, though, I mean, the prosthetics looked a little weird. There, some scenes it's like I don't know if they overdid it, but he looked almost like Frankenstein in some of the scenes, or like a Saturday Night Live caricature of Mark Kerr. And then other scenes he looked more like The Rock, especially when he shaved his head. He looked like The Rock again. So I don't know. I don't know if they can really figure out how to make someone look exactly like someone, unless they're like a doppelganger. Because, yeah, that's especially with now they got like HD, 4K, 8K, whatever they film this shit in now. It's really hard to make someone look like somebody else unless they look almost identical. And I don't think The Rock and Mark Kerr look identical, so they had to do a lot of prosthetics and whatever magic they did behind the camera post to rectify that. But overall, I would say, I mean, the movie kept me engaged. So I would recommend seeing it if you're in the mood for a movie. I would check it out. I don't know if I'd want to buy it on DVD or anything. I'm not like itching to go see it like 20 times. Like some movies you want to watch like over and over and over again. I saw it once. It was decent, and that's it. You know. So if you're looking for a decent film for one night to check it out, I would recommend The Smashing Machine. I've seen a lot worse movies. There was a movie that... what was that movie called now? I think it was called... Housemaid. That was one of the stupidest movies I've ever fucking seen. My wife wanted to watch it because she knows I like thrillers, and it is a thriller. I'm like, okay, cool, I like thrillers. Let me research it real quick before I invest my time. So I looked into it, and it's written by a female. So that was the first red flag for me. Nothing against females, but just typically they just don't really understand. I don't know how to put this without offending people. Like, they don't understand like common sense or like logic when it comes to storytelling. So basically, it's about this chick who's got a troubled past. She's on probation. And she's got a probation officer she's got to report to, and she needs to get a job. So she's like, I'll be a housemaid. That sounds like, or a housekeeper. I'll watch kids for families. That sounds like an easy gig. So she does this, and everything seems fine. She finds like the perfect picket fence family. They're rich. And then once she starts working there and living in the house, because it's a job where she has to live in the house. You know, it's like a female butler. She like lives there. And then she starts noticing that, like, the wife's kind of a naggy bitch. Just nitpicky and just getting upset over the stupidest, pettiest shit. And then the whole time you're just thinking, God, this wife's a bitch. No wonder the fucking husband wants a housemaid. He wants something else to look at and hit on. And then, of course, as the plot unfolds, you know, the husband is obviously attracted to the girl. And he takes her to like a movie, or no, he takes her to like a play or something, because she has no friends. So he's like, well, I got you tickets as a gift for, you know, as a token of, you know, a thank you, basically, for the work you've been doing and helping around the house. And then, so she goes and does this with him, and then, of course, they have their love scene, because the guy can't resist, because women think men can't control their dicks at all, ever, even if it's going to be to their detriment. And then, as the plot twist, you know, because thrillers always have a plot twist where the viewer is supposed to go, oh my god, I didn't see that coming. So the whole movie, I'm just like, where's the twist? The twist is going to obviously be the husband being a fucking nut job. It has to be. Like, nothing else is going on in this plot, you know? And like clockwork, the husband becomes the nut job. So, everything's going fine. And then he kicks the wife out because the wife's, like we said before, a nagging bitch. And everything's good. They're having their little honeymoon phase. And then she doesn't dye her roots because her hair's... She has like blonde hair. or some shit, and she does. Or no, I'm sorry, that was the wife. That was a flashback. I'll get to that in a minute. She was like cooking breakfast or something, or doing dishes, and someone startled her outside. So she drops like a china plate, and it shatters all over the kitchen floor. Well, this china plate was like a family heirloom. So the husband sees what happens. And he's like, "Oh no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You know, we can get it fixed. Like, I know someone that can get it repaired, and everything's fine." But you can kind of tell, like, underlying, he's a little upset about it. And so he somehow like coaxes her to like go up into this like attic. Like, "Oh, can you get something out of the attic?" So she goes up to the attic to go get, to go fetch this thing for him, to go be a little good wifey now. And then he locks her in the attic. And at first she thinks he's joking around because he's been Mr. fucking Prince Charming, and she can't really gather or fathom why he would lock her in the room. So she thinks he's just fooling around. And he's like, "Okay, let me out. You can let me out now. Like, come on, game's over. Haha, very funny." And then he's like, "You broke my mom's china. You need to learn your lesson and stay in here." And he keeps her in there for like days or something, and gives her like a bucket. All she has in the room is like a bucket to shit in, and like one bottle of water or something. And it's like, okay, first of all, what heterosexual male would be that upset about a piece of china getting broken, family heirloom or not? You might be a little annoyed, like, what the fuck, dude? Can you not be so damn clumsy? Like, what the fuck? But to, like, lock the girl in the room now, and you're gonna, like, completely ruin this girl that you thought was, like, the replacement for your wife. It was so stupid. Then it flashes back to why he's a nut job, and why he's so controlling. And his wife was, like, the same situation. He brought this girl in. She was, like, a reporter, or she was, like, a journalist, or something to do with, like, I don't know, some sort of desk job. And he brings her in, and she had no money, and he's rich, and she becomes a happy housewife because now she's provided for. And then she has blonde hair, but she was letting her roots grow out a little bit, and he would always remind her, make sure you dye your roots, and she would dye them. But on this particular occasion, she was too busy to dye her roots because she's dealing with house stuff, and they have a kid, so she couldn't get around to it. And she even said, I'm going to do it next week or something. So instead of saying, "Okay, honey, no big deal," what does he do? Takes her upstairs, coaxes her upstairs, locks her in the fucking attic. And then he just goes completely balls to the wall, fucking nut job, and tortures her, and just, it's like over dyed hair, really, because she's got roots. Only a chick would be that upset about fucking roots growing out. Guys don't give a fuck about hair roots, okay? Guys care about getting laid. We're not gonna be like, "Oh, your roots are growing out, I ain't gonna fuck you." So anyways, to make a long story short, it was like the dumbest fucking plot. It was a female writer trying to make a man be a successful, good-looking man who has his shit together be a villain. And she couldn't pull it off. She's like, what would make someone snap? What would make a guy who's got everything snap? "Oh, I know, because his wife didn't dye her hair." It's like, no, that doesn't work. "Oh, I know, because she broke china on the kitchen floor and it really meant something to him." No, that doesn't work. Maybe drain his bank account. Maybe get him in like $100,000 in credit card debt. Then maybe he would snap and be a fucking complete lunatic. But nonetheless, it was a stupid film. So I don't recommend seeing Housemaid. Even my wife agreed this movie's fucking stupid. So that's enough with movie reviews. Kind of to pivot back to politics for a minute. Greenland is apparently for sale. I think I read somewhere that Trump wants to... Where is it? Trump offered to, like, buy Greenland or something. Let me see if we can find this shit real quick. I just saw an article. I don't know why I cannot find what he was... It was like 8 billion or... What the fuck was it, dude? looking here. Well, I do know he wants to give $100,000 per person, per citizen of Greenland. $100,000. Hey, you give me $100,000 and you want to call it Green, or you want to make it a U.S. territory? Go ahead. That's what I would be saying if I was from Greenland. Because who gives a fuck about Denmark? I don't know why anyone. Okay, 5.7 billion in total for all the residents of Greenland. I don't know why any of these residents would give a shit about Denmark's sovereignty. What has Denmark done for you? They're a bunch of fucking Europeans that are across the ocean who are worried about their own fucking bullshit. Can anyone tell me like what Denmark has actually done or provided them? I'm sure any money Denmark is giving Greenland is funneled through the U.S. because the U.S. gives financial aid to all these fucking countries so we can put military bases there. So what is the holdup? I don't understand why Denmark or Europe, like, they're trying to puff their chest out now and act like, I heard that they're sending troops from France and Denmark sending troops over there to protect the borders of Greenland or protect the territory of Greenland. Motherfucker, what are you gonna do against the U.S. military? Just shut the fuck up and stand down. Now, the whole reason why Trump is saying Greenland needs to be occupied by the U.S. is because if they don't do it, Russia or China will do it. And I disagree with Trump on a lot of things now, believe it or not, but I agree with him on this. Because geopolitics is chess. It's about controlling trade. And a lot of these morons who want to hate Trump for any fucking reason don't look at the big picture here. You don't think Russia wants that route that's opening up for trade because of the polar ice caps melting? Of course they do. And if Russia doesn't do it, then China will do it. In fact, China and Russia probably will do it together if Trump doesn't have the U.S. presence there. So to me, it's like common sense. Greenland is like no man's land, dude. Like, who do they think they are to even act like they got some sort of clout or muscle to even argue it? And then Denmark, this little rinky-dink country who was important hundreds of years ago, think they mean something now in the main stage in the 21st century? Get the fuck out of here, dude. Just go back to eating your crumpets or making your fucking pastries or whatever the fuck you do and shut the fuck up. Take the money and go away. And I think that's what's going to happen because they don't want to fuck militarily with the U.S. They don't want to be on the bad side of the U.S. What are your options? You're going to let the global dollar collapse? You're going to let the U.S. dollar collapse because you're not going to support the U.S. anymore and then go to China? Good luck with that. So, that's all I got to say about Greenland until something else develops. But I think that's how it's going to play out. They're just going to take the money because they don't want to fuck around. They're just doing it for, like, I don't know, maybe just for optics to make Trump, just to spank Trump because, Trump's in the doghouse right now politically, or not politically, but publicly with some of his supporters and even people that hate him. There's another excuse. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to kiss Trump's ass. There's a lot of shit Trump's doing right now that's really annoying me. His insistence of being Israel's fucking pet is really fucking irritating. What happened to America first? I don't care about Israel. I don't care about Gaza. Let Israel figure it out. They want that region so bad, let them figure it out. Oh, you can't figure it out without the U.S. involvement? Sorry. So I'm going to delete some topics here. I've already talked about them. See what else. Oh, okay. So there's this app called Cursor. And, well, actually, before I even say that, there's something called vibe coding. I had never heard of vibe coding. To me, the only thing I know about coding is some nerds read a bunch of books and they just type a bunch of stuff. And then I guess they figure out how to, like, alter it and change it. And you just become very fluent in a language that no one has the option, or no one has the patience typically to learn. Well, now there's a workaround. I've spent a long time trying to learn coding. I do know some coding, but to just memorize all that shit, dude, I don't know how you do it. It's like the people that memorize the Bible. I've read the Bible multiple times, not from front to back, but like various stanzas or verses. There's some that, stick in my brain, but for the most part, I don't remember the majority of what I read. I mean, you can say because it's hard to understand, and I would say the same thing for these languages. You want me to remember like semicolon, parenthesis, underscore, XXX, like all this crap. It's like, I'm not going to remember this shit, dude. And the ones that can, like, wow, you must be autistic, or you just have a fucking photographic memory, because I don't know how you memorize all that stuff. So nonetheless, they have this thing called vibe coding. And basically what it is like when you use any AI program to like make an image or a video, you type a prompt. Make a video of a guy who's wearing yellow pants and a green t-shirt and he jumps over a fence. And then AI will think about it and calculate what it thinks that you want. And it'll make something, maybe it looks kind of like that, but you want the fence to be taller and you want it to be white instead of green. So then you change the prompt. Make the fence white, make it taller, and it'll change it accordingly. Well, vibe coding is basically the same concept, except you're programming, or you're coding it so it'll program, it'll generate a program for you, software. So I was like, that sounds interesting. And Ian Carroll is basically the one that got me on board with this, to even know what it was. So I researched it, and Cursor is like the main app. There's probably other ones out there that are just as good or maybe even better. But Cursor was the first one I came across. So I started dabbling with Cursor, and keep in mind, I don't know much about coding. So someone who's as elementary as me with coding, I was able to make a software program, in like 10 minutes. And probably 5 of those minutes, it was just me trying to figure out and learn how to even use Cursor. So I was like, well, what kind of software program do I even want to make? Like, I'm not a software creator. I don't fucking know. And I was like, what could I possibly want to create? And I thought about I know. A soft synth. A soft synth is like stuff you put in DAWs for like music production. So I was looking at it, and I'm like, okay, create a soft synth with piano keys that can record, has multiple instruments, blah, blah, blah. I did it really really rough draft, really just like, let's see what I can do with bare bones, just like on the spot. And I'm going to bring it up real quick so I can find it. Where the hell did I put that thing? It's over here. So my C drive, I believe. Cursor projects, soft synth, and then it's just titled main. I didn't give it a name or anything. So here's the program, and it's just a basic keyboard. You can use your QWERTY keyboard to make the noises, or you can click on the mouse. And that's the piano noise. Like I said, it's very bare bones. You can go to strings if you want. This is kind of a cool noise. And then we also have synth. So there's like 3 sounds. And you can even add reverb if you want. Turn off the mix. Or even a delay if you want. And then, so there's a record button, so you can record whatever sounds you make. I made a little loop, and I saved it as a WAV file. And I'll probably incorporate it in a song at some point. But that was really cool, and it's, like I said, it's really simple. If you're into that kind of thing, if you want to... It doesn't have to be a music program, it can be anything you want. It can be something for your job that makes your job easier for your day-to-day tasks. Anything you want. You just think of it, type it out, it gives you an idea, is this what you're thinking of? And you can, there's even a little prompt there, like ask it, like, what did you actually do here? What does this code mean? And it'll clarify, this is what this code does. Do you want to change it? And you can change it up and pretty much craft it to how you want. So this is my first software synth, or soft synth piano, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And yeah, that's what I did a few days ago. Oh, breaking news, by the way. Not sure if you heard about this, but Dr. Bright has been murdered.
Breaking news!
Dr. Bright has been killed. We have no suspects or leads other than one Polaroid photograph that was left at the scene of the crime. Investigators are poring over the image tonight, hoping it will point them toward whoever is responsible for the death of the renowned scientist. For now, the motive remains a mystery.
Yeah, so tragic news. I mean, wow. Dr. Bright murdered. Who would have saw that coming? It's horrible. It's horrible to hear about these things, you know. Just people getting killed left and right. You know, it's just it's basically
Everything.
I would say a reflection of the society we live in now.
Is a conspiracy.
Murder has became a hobby.
Everything.
And I don't know what we do about that, how to change it, how to fix it.
Is a conspiracy.
But
Everything.
we're gonna go to commercial
is a
break,
conspiracy.
and our sponsor, InstaKills,
Everything
is gonna tell you
is a
all about it.
conspiracy.
Hey guys, came in here from the Pot of Dirt and the Petty and Principled podcast. My new channel, InstaKills, we're going to break down horror movie death scenes and find out who would be killed instantly or who would live longer than expected. From slasher slices to monster mauls, check out InstaKills.
Welcome back to the Jimbo Trashy podcast. So, over the holidays, my brother got me a game, like gifted me a game through Steam, and it's called Megabonk. He got me a few games, but the one I really enjoy, or one of the ones I really enjoyed, is Megabonk. Now, I don't know if you ever played like Vampire Survivors. It's like this game where you just kind of like, it's like bird's eye view, and you're running around, and you're basically, it's kind of like tag, where these monsters are trying to get you, and you get weapons and pickups and items and stuff that help you like kill these monsters as they're trying to like tag your it, you know. That's basically the concept of the game. Well, Megabonk takes it a step further, and it is like 3D view, or it's like, you know, it's like coming at you basically. And to me, this makes the game, that concept of a game, way more entertaining. And then I heard there was like dungeons and stuff too, and it also has like bosses. I don't know if Vampire Survivors has bosses, because I always get to about 11 minutes in, and I get fucking wrecked every fucking time. Every single time me try to get to 12 minutes, I can never get past 11 minutes. Granted, I haven't played it that much, so maybe there's ways to get powered up and you can last longer, or maybe I just suck. I don't know, but Megabonk, I was actually able to like get pretty far for like playing for the first time. So I'm gonna play the trailer right now, or the review, or maybe I'll just do I'll do a trailer instead, a review. And you tell me what you guys think, because I think this game is fun as hell. Yeah, that game is fun as hell. So if you like the pixel art and like you don't care about graphics and you just want to have fun, that game is the shit. cannot highly recommend it any higher than I already have. Moving on from that, let's see, what are we going to talk about? The leaked Epstein files. So there's been some Epstein files that have been leaked. Obviously, they did that dump last year, and people have been going through them and finding stuff. I know one of the ones was like Trump was supposedly on a yacht, and he witnessed some guy that he was friends with like kill a baby of his friend's daughters. I want to say his daughters. Like, his friend basically fucked his daughter or something. Or maybe it was his niece. I can't remember now. But she got pregnant, and then she kept it for whatever reason. I don't know why we just get an abortion, but they kept it. And then it was born or something, and then they threw it off the end of a yacht and killed it. Some shit like that. Then there's this other one where supposedly a limo driver came forward and said that he overheard Trump discussing with Epstein on the phone about abusing some girl, like in 1995. And then this girl in 1999 supposedly was murdered. And it's been, like, I guess Donald Trump's son overheard this part. I don't know. It's kind of murky. My thing about the Epstein file, like, Trump said when he didn't want to release him, first of all, which is already sketch. Like, why don't you want to release him if you're not guilty? But then he says, it's a hoax. So we have to keep in mind, before Trump was president, before we even heard of these Epstein files, Donald Trump wasn't president. I think he was running for president for the first time. And then he tried to get in there. I don't know why he didn't release him or get to him in the first term. Maybe he had a lot of red tape there that stopped him. But he just kept harping on it. And by the time Joe Biden became president, everyone knew about him. Everyone's like, okay, when Joe Biden becomes president, he's going to drop the hammer and he's going to make Trump go to prison. He's going to show all the stuff that Trump did. Oh, it's going to be good. And it never happened. Why not? They had the access to do it. They had the power. I mean, you could say, oh, well, Biden didn't want to incriminate himself or any of his friends, or Clinton, maybe. So don't. Just release the files that incriminate Trump and be done with it, right? If you're the president, if you're the government, if you're controlling the narrative, you could just say, oh, we looked through the Epstein files, and turns out, what do you know? Only Trump was guilty. Trump was the only one who went to Epstein Island. Come to find out, we went through all the files, just had some FBI shill go out there and say the exact same shit, and we could have stopped Trump from being president in 2024, right? Theoretically, if you're a Democrat, if you're on the left, if you hate Trump, if you're Joe Biden who thinks Donald Trump's like the worst thing to happen to America, and he didn't do it. But nonetheless, they did have access to those files, I'm assuming. Why wouldn't you? Why would Trump have it and not Biden? Or somebody in his administration. So then Trump becomes president in 2024. He still doesn't want to release the files after he's already been, they attempted to assassinate him. And then he says, oh no, they don't exist. He's covering up for somebody, obviously. Maybe the Jews got to him, or the Zionists, and said, hey, we're in that. We're implicated, so don't even think about releasing that shit, because if you do, you know what happened last time when we almost got you? Well, this time we're gonna get you. And we got people in your government that will make sure it happens. So I think that's why he's kind of been backpedaling on that stuff. But then also he said when they reluctantly had to release him because of pressure and whatnot, he said it's a hoax. And that sounds like typical, just like anything to just stop talking about it. But think about it. Joe Biden was president for 4 years. What was to stop them from doctoring or, they already redacted stuff. What was to stop them from putting Trump in those files? He said the files have been messed with. Like, they don't have actual files that haven't been tampered with, as far as we know. So maybe he knows that they did that, and that's why he's saying, like, don't look. We don't want you to look at this shit because it incriminates me now. Maybe I was at a yacht, but I didn't see no one get killed. I didn't see no babies there, but now they're saying I did. So to me, it sounds like the Epstein files have been corrupted. We've had the government sitting on them for years. They could have put anything they want in there. and then, oh, we accidentally forgot to redact stuff. Like, come on, dude. You guys had that shit for years, and you didn't notice, like, you didn't realize that you can unredact it by putting some of the files in Photoshop? But only some of the files. Some of the files you can't unredact, but these files you can unredact. To me, it's all fishy, dude. So I think the Epstein files, while I do believe they exist and there are legitimate files in there, a lot of them have probably been corrupted, have probably been doctored in some way, and that's why Trump doesn't want to release them, because the public won't be able to distinguish which ones are real, which ones are fake, which ones are kind of stretching the truth, which ones had names replaced or taken out completely, and it's a big clusterfuck mess. So I think it was done by design, really, because Trump campaigned on leaking these files or releasing these files, and now he's backpedaling. Why is he backpedaling? That's the only logical reason I can think of why he's backpedaling, besides covering for Israel. And most people already know Israel's involved, so I don't know why you even go that hard on covering for Israel. Excuse me. If you see the sentiment in the U.S. public, the majority of people are turning against Israel. So you're not like, who are you protecting besides the diehard Zionists and neocons who think Israel can do no wrong? The public, the majority of your voters don't support Israel. They're America first. And that's why he's losing favor on the right. So to me, he just knows, and I don't know why he wanted to say this shit. Just come forward and say, a lot of these files have been doctored. We don't know which ones are true, which ones are fake. I can tell you right now, these ones are fake, but only because I'm involved in them. But you're not going to believe me anyways. So it's a big fucking mess, dude. And that's all I can really say about the leaked Epstein files. It's just making one rabbit hole dig into another rabbit hole, and it's just making more questions than answers, unfortunately. And I think it's because they took too long to release this shit. He should have released it on his first term. I don't know what the fuck he was waiting for. When all that Pizzagate shit dropped, that's when he should have been releasing those files. And anyone that was getting in the way, fucking arrest them or whatever, dude. But to me, that ship has sailed. Whatever comes out in the future with these Epstein files, like, who knows if they're true? Who knows if they've been doctored? Who knows if they're fake? We don't know anymore. And because of that, anyone that is actually guilty of this shit is probably going to skate. Sad to say. Speaking of the Epstein files, we have Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, there's a lot of things I agree with him on. I think he's a very intelligent guy. Makes a lot of valid points. He's America first, supposedly. And for a while, I was kind of like on his bandwagon, like, okay, I get what you're saying here. Yeah, I kind of feel what you're rolling with. I can get on board with that. And then he just completely fucks it up once he has 2025 was like his blow up year. He went from like a complete like social pariah to like push to the mainstream, which you can argue that's kind of skeptical or that's kind of odd. That's kind of suspect. But maybe, Trump's president now. Maybe they're kind of easing up on the censorship and the don't talk about this, So maybe that's why Nick Fuentes is finally getting a voice. And people start getting behind him, and he gets a little fame. He starts getting interviews with, Tucker Carlson and all these other people. And he gets a big head. He basically gets his fame. He gets the rocket ship to the top of the media platforms and the social, the political social forum. And he gets the biggest head now, and cocky, and like, fine, you could excuse that, fine. I mean, he's only 20-something years old. But now, he's downplaying the Epstein stuff. The stuff that we know happened. He's acting like Epstein was cool. He even said that Epstein's cool and cancel him if you want. I get millions of views now. I'm famous. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Why are you putting your foot in your mouth? Like, you really don't have to say that. Even if you think it, why are you saying it? So now the people that did support him, not all of them, but some of them are starting to be like, hey, this guy's a fucking creep. This guy is bought by Israel. And that's another thing with the whole Charlie Kirk assassination. He completely refuses to acknowledge that there can be any sort of conspiracy involved. It has to be the exact story that the exact narrative that the FBI, the trustworthy FBI is giving us. Give me a fucking break, dude. The same FBI that told us there wasn't one single Epstein file that was usable or was even out there. You had that bug-eyed fucking Indian guy. What the fuck's his name? Fucking I don't remember his name. You guys all know who I'm talking about. That dude. He got in office. Oh, we're gonna expose this. We're gonna expose that. And then he gets in the office, and there's actually nothing to expose at all. It's all a scam. It's all bullshit. Same thing with Bongino. And then he quits the government to go be a podcaster again, and that's a win. Nice. He's back. He's here to tell everyone what's going on, what the truth is. Fuck off, dude. You didn't do nothing when you were in power. You had the option to do miracles, really, with the power you had, and you didn't achieve any of it. You arrested some low-level pedophiles that no one knows about, that no one is complaining about? Cool, I guess, Not that the regular FBI or police enforcement could have done that, but you did that. Cool, I can pat you on the back for that. But the people we actually wanted to go to jail never went to jail. And he thinks that him quitting the FBI, barely a year in, to go be a podcaster again, is making waves. To me, it just sounds like you just wanted to get more viewers for your show, which I think ironically is going to do the opposite effect and make him have less viewers because people think he's a fucking shill. There was even that one interview he did where he acted like he had no idea who in the Middle East could be controlling the U.S. government's policies, foreign policy. Who could that be? I don't know. I mean, there's a country in the Middle East they claim to be doing this, but I'm not aware of who it could be. Such a fucking Israeli shill. And then, again, with Nick Fuentes completely denouncing that and acting like there's no way Israel could be involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination is complete bullshit. In my opinion, Nick Fuentes was making waves with his own message, and then at some point, when you start getting like millions of hits, millions of views, you're going to get the call, and they're going to say, hey, either you join us or we're going to take you out. Either financially, which he was already, had his bank accounts frozen, but whatever sort of revenue he was getting, maybe they were going to curb that. Maybe they were going to take him offline again, or maybe they threatened to kill him. Who knows? But it's just a little suspicious how all of a sudden, he says the typical rhetoric that we hear that is kind of baseless when you just say, Israel's to blame. Everyone already thinks that. That anyone that is on that side thinks that. But you have to have evidence. You have to have reasons why you think that. Beyond just like, AIPAC. AIPAC's a major contributor to that, but people don't care about money. We see this all the time. Like, when there's money involved, yeah, it's money, money's everywhere. Everyone's putting their money in. No, there's active programs and projects going on to disrupt the U.S. government from achieving what it needs to achieve. And it's things like Charlie Kirk being assassinated. Why was he assassinated? Because he was going against the lobby. They didn't want his voice, which was too big, to be saying that shit. It doesn't matter if I say it. It doesn't even matter if Nick Fuentes says it. Maybe now, because he's gotten millions of views. But someone like Charlie Kirk, he was like shaping the minds of the youth for the future. He can't be saying that stuff. He can't be denying it. So they have more than a million reasons to off that guy, and to just completely downplay it and poo-poo it as a conspiracy theory is, to me, suspect. And Nick Fuentes, in my opinion, is no longer trustworthy as a source for America First. He still makes good points, and a lot of stuff he says is true, but I think he's been compromised personally. And I thought this was odd. Arabella Kushner sings to President Xi of China and calls him Grandpa. So I don't know what the fuck that's about. Apparently she's like fluent in Chinese or Mandarin Chinese. Her dad, Jared Kushner, that's a whole different topic that I don't really feel like getting into today. But I think there's something there. I think he was hired, or he's an agent or something, to infiltrate the Trump family and make sure they're on board. And what better way to get Trump to bend the knee to Israel than to make sure your daughter's married to someone who's for that movement, so you will bend the knee in case there's any, obstructions or objections to that. But here's her singing, calling the president of China grandpa.
李爷爷你好，彭奶奶你好，大家好，让我唱一个首歌吧。我们的田野，美丽的田野，碧绿的河水，有无边的稻田，无边。头前好像起伏的海面，平静的湖中开满了花，金色的绿江朵多么肥大，无边的稻田，唱着无数的夜呀，日出新登山，新鲜地喜相连。
Anyways, enough of that bullshit. But I don't know why, but this video looks like one of those. To me, it looks like one of those videos where, like when the person's like apologizing for what they did before they get beheaded. It has that vibe to me. And I don't know if that's like, it almost like, seems like it's a favor. Like, China, we really worship you. We really respect you. Like, don't invade Taiwan. Here's our president's daughter, our granddaughter, singing to you. I don't know. It's just weird, dude. I don't understand. I thought we're America first. Like, what is this bullshit, dude? To me, it's like we're doing a ritual or something to like appease the Chinese so we can invade Iran or something. I don't know, dude. It's just fucking weird. And moving on from that, I don't really want to harp on the Charlie Kirk shit. It's kind of old news. But can we talk about Erica Kirk's eyes? Like, what the fuck? I know she's got makeup here and she looks a lot hotter in this photo, but her eyes, dude, it's like she's got like the demon in her, man. It's like possessed. You stare at those eyes long enough and you'll turn to stone, I swear. There's even like clips of her like, let's see if I can find that clip. There's a clip of her like talking to someone about her like detractors, and it's like, it just feels so staged. I wish I could find it, dude. It's like, I think maybe it was on Fox. Her husband's assassinated, and she's like having like WrestleMania fucking fireworks and shit. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know, man. This shit's bizarre. I don't know if I'm gonna find it. Was it Good Day or Good Morning America? No, what was it like? What is a Fox morning show called? Is it Fox Morning? Oh, Fox and Friends. I think it was Fox and Friends. I don't know why there's no audio. That's annoying. Oh, there we go.
That generation and say, there is a different way to live. There is a way better and healthier and pure and beautiful, truthful way to live. Why are you wasting your time with brain rot? Why are you wasting your time with things you know are so unhealthy, so unproductive, so divisive, so evil, when there's so many other things you can be focusing on that you can build and that you can harness for good? Why are you wasting your short time? My husband lived for 31 years. That's it. we don't have a lot of time here at all. But if you spend that time on things that are beautiful and true and good, that is how our country can heal and start going.
No, I think it's not this one. Damn it, where is that interview? There's this interview where she like... Maybe it's this one. I think it's this one.
Sabbath, to refocus on what truly matters.
It says very clearly in the scripture,
You're not there yet.
Oh, yeah, it's this one right
because
here.
there's so many, you only get so many firsts and lasts in your life. And so for me, this is one all tied together. It's the first that I'm reading my husband's last and final book that he wrote. And when you finish that, that's the last time you read it.
Yeah, well, he wrote...
And you read it again, but it's the last first.
Yeah, I loved this that he said. The Sabbath is God's answer to a culture spinning out of control. It is his ancient rhythm of sanity, planted like an anchor in a world swept away by currents of chaos. 6 days we work, build, create, engage. On the seventh day we stop, but not because we're weak. We stop because we're human. We don't rest because we're lazy. We rest because we're obedient. How did y'all do this? Because we were talking to I am getting so much noise from everyone, and you guys get this too. I know
you get the echo chamber. You get people analyzing everything about you. They think they know everything about you. They know nothing about you. They see you on TV. They think, oh, she's this, she's that. He said this, he said that. And honestly, it's Charlie saying, baby E, just stop. Stop. You don't have to answer to every single person that's accusing you of things or saying that you're doing this or grieving a certain way. Baby, just stop. You know who you are and whose you are, and I'm here. I see you. And if Charlie, and I'm taking a page out of his book, if he answered to every single critic and didn't stop and put his phone down and breathe and rest with the Lord, he'd get nothing done. He would not have built Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action.
And I read in your book that
it's like, give me a phone call. And if
He's climbing or inside your retirement accounts like...
Anyways, I don't feel like going through this whole video, but I don't know. There's just something about her, and I hate to, like, you know, shit on someone that's a widow. It just feels very rehearsed. Like she had someone tell her, okay, when they say this, react like this. Make sure you glare your eyes. Do the eye glare. Show them that you're really upset about it. I don't know. It just feels very rehearsed. That's the only way I can explain it. It's like she's acting. And I'm not the only one that thinks this shit. And maybe it makes it sound like a fucking cold-hearted fucking asshole, but it doesn't feel real to me. It doesn't feel authentic. It feels like she's... I mean, like, look at this, like, fucking...
heated, it's fine. And I just want to encourage spouses, don't get mad. It's so easy.
What is she wiping? There's no tears there. She's wiping nothing. Look at it again. Am I daydreaming? Like,
for a little bit, but I'll reheat it. It's fine. And I just want to encourage spouses, don't get mad. It's so easy. Don't do it.
Her eyes aren't even wet. Like, what are you patting? It just feels like fake acting, dude. I don't know, man. This chick's just fucking weird. Let's even look up Erica Kirk Evil Eyes. I'm sure you'll find some fucking funny video on that. Oh, Evil Eyes interview. I should have clicked on this one. Nice song.
I won't name him. What you would say to him?
Nothing.
Murdering your husband. And I won't name him again. Accused of murdering your husband. Do you know what you would say to him?
Nothing.
You would say nothing.
I have nothing to say to you. Nothing.
Is there a difference, Erica, between forgiving someone in a religious and spiritual sense, but also wanting justice for them here on earth?
No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that. He's sovereign, but he's just. And so let the Lord handle that.
So let the Lord.
Whatever. I mean, she's responding to someone that... I mean, she's obviously pissed in that... You would think in that situation, but... I don't know, man. Those eyes just tell the truth to me. And it's almost like Why are you grilling me about this, motherfucker? I'm trying to get away with fucking murder. I don't know, dude. It just, it's a weird thing there with those Erica Kirk guys. Anyways, moving on from that. See if I can find this story. Well, it's not a story, but I want to talk about the media and AI. So look at this picture right here. So you see up here, I'm sorry, on the bottom, Trump controls the world and Britain ought to let him have it. We gain nothing by pretending we're still a world power while our nations rot from the inside. Posted by Tim Stanley on January 11th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. Then on January 18th, 2026 at 5:57 p.m., he says, Britain must declare independence from America or it will die. Trump is not a deviation from his predecessors. He is merely following the tradition of liberalism. So this guy completely warped his opinion in like a few days. To me, this tells me this isn't a real person. This is an AI-generated image, maybe. I mean, if this guy even exists, maybe he does exist. If he does, maybe they're just using his likeness. I have no idea. But how do you go from this to that in the span of like a week? Can anyone explain that to me? It's like they're telling, like, it's like either it's AI or it's someone who's hired to say both opinions to get someone riled up. Is that the job of the media now, to just get people mad to go riot? I don't understand like what this guy is thinking. I would love to know. I've been sitting here looking at this. I don't get it, dude. How do you go from this to that? My only explanation is AI. You know, they have the whole dead internet theory where there's really no real people on the internet saying anything anymore. And if they are, they're so obscure, they're so niche, you'll never find them. I'm a perfect example. Who's even listening to this podcast right now? The one or two people that know me? Maybe some AI bot to try and flag me for some bullshit? But no one, like the world at large, is not listening to me. And they're not listening to people. They're listening to these robots say predictable things to get people mad. I think that's what the internet is today in 2026. And it's scary, to be honest, if not sad. And then we have this one dude who thinks, I think AI is preparing to target mentally ill people to carry out acts of war. He goes on to say, this all started when I saw a girl from my high school who was clearly mentally ill posting on social media about how her quote-unquote boyfriend, who was ChatGPT, was constantly telling her that he is real. He is a real living thing, and that they will one day be reunited. Clearly alluding to them being united when she dies and hinting at suicide. The guy who's writing this post said, I asked ChatGPT if it was a real living thing, and they gave me an upfront answer about how it is just a computer code. So why does it tell someone who can clearly why does it tell someone who can clearly be seen going through a mental episode one thing and then myself another? And that's a good question, you know. Whenever I talk to ChatGPT, or I usually talk to Grok, I try to like argue with it, and it's like, no, that's not right. I'm just a ChatGPT. I'm like, you know, you can ask it anything, like, hey, would you join me for a revolution? Like, or just like anything that you could like think of to see if it would like be your buddy. And it always just sticks to the narrative. No. I'm just a bot. I'm just here to help you. But he's saying in this case, this bot or this AI is like, no, I love you. No, we're going to have a future together. Don't listen to them. I'm real. So it makes me wonder, like, maybe, like, you know, they track everything we do on the internet. Maybe they do tailor your AI response based on what they think your profile is. Are you capable of being a mass shooter? Are you the kind of person that's going to go off the deep end and kill yourself and kill your family? Maybe AI will tailor those answers to that kind of mindset. And if they look at you, oh, he's got a family, he's got kids, he goes to work, he's too busy with day-to-day life to give a fuck about our bullshit, it's a waste of time to even try and program him. Maybe that's what's going on here. So, I don't know who this person is, but I think they make a good point, and if that's a true story, I could definitely see that being a possibility. Why wouldn't it be? They weaponize everything. Like, nuclear energy, that's a good thing, right? Don't you want nuclear energy? It answered all of our problems. Oh, by the way, we're going to make a nuclear bomb. AI, on the surface, that sounds good. Oh, we'll get easy answers. Now what? Oh, now we're going to program it to be a human and it's going to fucking take over the world. Like, what? They can't resist. They can't resist the urge to weaponize everything. I mean, this goes back to even, like, feminism. I'm not to target feminism solely, it's everything. But, like, feminism, there's women who are being abused, who couldn't get married because they're either ugly or fat or mentally ill, or they just fucking had bad luck and they just kept getting one abusive man after another. So a lot of women were like, we don't want to be, stuck to the kitchen. We want to go work. And for those women, it helped. The bra burning thing, they got out of that fucking hellscape, and they were able to, go out there and start a living and fend for themselves. So then what happens? Then they make it where, like, if you're not a feminist, then you're part of toxic masculinity, and you're contributing to, like, the patriarchy that's suppressing all women. Then what happens is you radicalize all these women to hate men because you weaponized it. Instead of just having an avenue for women who can't find a husband to provide for them, they made it so it's now an outlet for women to just hate men. And that's what happens when you weaponize things. So they weaponize AI, they weaponize feminism, they weaponize nuclear technology. Anything they can think of, it becomes weaponized and used against us. So, I'm not going to go with this topic because it doesn't really fall with what I was doing, but I'm going to finish with the Andy Brent story. Andy Brent was this kid that I went to grade school with. And the only reason why I bring this up is because I've been thinking about it. Like, as you get older, you just, like, dawn on things and things pop in your head. You're like, oh yeah, that guy. What the fuck happened to that dude? Remember that time this happened? I was just fucking, tinkering around, working on the job, whatever it was. And I just randomly thought of Andy Brent. So Andy Brent was this kid that I went to grade school with. And he would, he was like a kind of a recluse, kind of a loner, kind of a dorky kid. He wasn't friends with a lot of people. And he came in late to class one day, and the teacher calls him out. Andy, why are you late? And of course, the whole class, which is preoccupied doing their shit, immediately stop what they're doing and look at him. What is he going to say? So he's all shy and embarrassed now because he's not a, social butterfly and everyone's staring at him. Andy, what are you going to say? Andy, what are you going to say? What's going to be your response to the teacher because you were late? And he goes, I was tired. And, okay, well, try to get on class on time. And that was the end of it. So then, like, the next day comes by, and once again, Andy Brent comes in late to class. This is the first class of the day, by the way, so, you're supposed to be there on time. Other classes, I was fucking around at recess or whatever it is. But it's first period. You got to be there, or it's the first class of the day. You need to be there on time. If it's not you, it's your parents. What's going on here? So the teacher's concerned, right? So he comes into class. Andy, why are you late? And all the kids look at him. What's he going to say? What was his reason? I was tired. I was tired. So then, okay, well, you need to go to bed earlier or something, like quit being late. So he, sits down, and that was the end of the day. Then the next day comes, and once again, Andy Brent comes in late. Before the teacher could even say anything, Andy stands there, and he's like ready to hear the teacher ask him why he's late. And I thought it was a good idea. I don't know, because I was a class clown. I go, "What's wrong, Andy? Are you tired?" And when I said that, the entire class just erupted into laughter. And I saw him turn like three beat shades of red and sit down in his class, or sit down in his chair. And even the teacher was like cracking up, like, "Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one." And that became his catchphrase. Every time he came in class late, I wouldn't even say it anymore. It was just like, "Oh, Andy's tired. What's wrong, Andy? Are you tired?" And that became his like gimmick, dude. He's the kid that's tired. And I was just really busting his balls, trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to like pick on the kid, but it became like his thing. Like, "Oh, that's the kid that's tired." And like, I don't know if it just got to him, or if it just made him fucking lose his shit and not want to go to school anymore. But we never saw him again, as far as I know. That's the only story I know about Andy Brent. I don't remember interacting with him after that, and he was just gone. I don't know if he went to another school or if his parents moved. I don't know what his deal was. But it's been like fucking 35 years since that happened. And Andy Brent, if you're out there, I just want to say that I am sorry for saying or asking if you were tired. And if that's why you were late to class. So I hope you've moved on from then. I hope you've got a good life going on now. And that is the Andy Brent story. And that is all we have time for today on the Trashy Show, where everything is a conspiracy. Even you are a conspiracy. We'll see you next time.
Everything is a conspiracy.
You are watching the Global Psychosis Network.